Luke chapter 4, Jesus was teaching the multitude by the seaside. And verse 35 says that when the evening had come, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let us cross over and let us go to the other side." And they were faced with a serious storm to the point that they actually almost drowned. So I think this is quite interesting because a lot of times, we tend to think that when you are doing what God wants you to do, or when you are doing what God has told you to do, we think that it's going to be easy. We think that everything is going to come smooth and you're not going to have any problems or any opposition. And yet when we read this account, it actually shows us that, you can actually be right in the middle of God's will for your life. But then it doesn't mean you won't have challenges. It doesn't mean you're not going to be faced with any storms. Like, problems will come, all those things will happen. But then don't lose courage, because, a lot of times when things are going wrong or when things are not going the way that they should, we start questioning, like, am I doing what God wants me to be? Am I where God wants me to be? And then a lot of times now we start thinking, no, maybe I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or maybe I need to change my job, or maybe I need to move somewhere else, or maybe I need to change something. Do you understand? And whereas also on the other hand, if things can actually be going well in your life, like everything can be good and all that, but then that's also not a sign that God is involved in whatever it is that you are doing. Because a lot of times we want to use our circumstances to determine the will of God for our lives. And yet the only way for you to understand whether you are in the will of God or not is for you to ask God in the place of prayer. You cannot use your circumstances, because like I said, your circumstances can be good. That's not a sign that it's the will of God. At the same time, your circumstances can be bad. It's also not a sign that you are not in the will of God.